Hey y'all, and welcome back to my channel. On this page, I talk about technology and money, topics that you all message me about or send to me, or other things that I come across and find interesting. If you're new here, subscribe to the channel, and also please like and share this video. It helps this content reach more people who may find it helpful, and it also encourages me to continue to create content that you all find helpful. Today, I wanted to do a review of Minda Harts' new book, Right Within: How to Heal from Racial Trauma in the Workplace. And last year, I actually did a review of Minda Harts' first book, The Memo: What Women of Color Need to Know to Secure a Seat at the Table. And what I'll do is I'll leave a link to that book review either up here or up here where you all can go back and read. But today we're going to talk about her brand new book, Right Within. So before I get into the review and share just three real quick takeaways and key points, I wanted to give a trigger warning. So this is a book, but it's not just a book. It's also a workbook. Okay, so it's a how-to guide to help you heal from racial trauma in the workplace. So whether that's microaggressions, lateral violence, bullying, imposter syndrome, sabotage, things like that that are racially charged or racial trauma, it may take you to some dark places as you work through the book and read through the book. I know it did for me, right? It can bring up those painful memories, those memories that hurt. So I did want to give that trigger warning for this video, and then also for picking up the book. But definitely go pick up the book. It's good. Who the book is for? It's for people of color who identify, it's for multiple people. It's for people of color who identify as Latino, Asia Pacific, Native American, Black, African American, African, etc. It's also for allies. It's for mentors. It's for leaders. It's for supervisors. And the reason why I say it's for those groups is because Dr. Hart, she gives examples and stories from people who have experienced racial trauma, and then also tips for leaders and managers on how they can support their employees and also their workplaces. So I also want to make you all aware a little bit about what to expect from the book. As I already said, it's a lot to unpack. So I'll just share some key points. So when I say it's a lot to unpack, this book takes you through things around racial trauma in the workplace, such as facing the pain, right? What does that pain look like? And acknowledging, that you have experienced these things or that you have caused these things for people, right? It helps you work through like why you should heal and the benefits for healing, not only for you, but also for community, right? Maintaining the healing, okay? Because healing is not just, read the book and you're done. Go to one therapy session and you're done. It is an ongoing thing. So what are those activities that you can do or we can do, I can do, us, to continue to maintain the healing once we've gone through the healing. Also, she gives ideas and things that you can do while you are still in an environment where you are experiencing racial trauma, right? Because not all of us not everyone can just up and quit, a position or a job. You have to be able to stay in it for reasons, maybe for your family or etc. Other things like that. So what are those things that you can do for yourself, how to escalate, how to get help, and how to deal while you're still in those environments, okay? So let's get to some three key points and takeaways. First is read the book, but also give yourself space and grace and time to reflect. So what do I mean by that? At the end of every chapter, Minda gives some questions for you to like unpack and reassess. That's the part where I was saying this is a workbook, right? This is not just a book you just sit down and read. That's why I said it's important to give yourself some space and some time to unpack and think through these exercises. So for example, in the chapter on addressing the pain, she asked the question, who were you before this racialized workplace experience, and who are you now? So getting you to think about, how has these experiences, these microaggressions, these lateral violence, these situations where you may have been punched down on, how have they changed you? How have they changed how you trust your coworkers, your leaders, and the people around you? How have those experiences, eroded the trust that you may have for those people? How has these experiences impacted your work, your performance? Like really thinking through those things to help you face and address that trauma. So also another question is, what does a good workplace look like for you? So listing out those things for you. What are those situations, those environments that are best for you? And then looking at that list to say, this is what I know is the best for me, but this is the situation I'm in, which would I prefer? And if you prefer the favorable position, things that you can do to start preparing yourself to transition. So that's why I say, give yourself, as you're reading through this book, give yourself some space and also some grace to work through the questions and really reflect. Number 2, key point takeaway. This healing is for you, right? You, the person who is healing or going through the healing process, is centered and should be centered, right? Because the healing is not for anyone else's thoughts and experiences, for someone else who has not experienced those things to center themselves. The healing is for you. So what do I mean by that? It's for you to help you dealing with your triggers, whether it's words, things people say to you, things people don't say to you, but do it in non-verbal ways or actions, right? Empowering yourself and how to do that. Affirmations for yourself, doing restoration agreements. So she does have restoration agreements in here, and also a healing pledge, and helping you work through your why and why it's important for you to heal. Okay. So that's number 2, key takeaway. Number 3, and then just one of the final ones is just remembering that healing is a journey. And Minda does a good job of reminding us this several times throughout the book. There is no timeline for healing. There is no one right way from healing from racial trauma in the workplace. The right way to heal from racial trauma is the best way for you. So assess the tools and the resources that she gives in the book. She gives lots throughout the book, and then also at the end of the book, she has an appendix of different tools and resources. So assess which of those that work for you, whether that is listening to a podcast. She does reference the Therapy for Black Girls podcast. I love that podcast. That's led by a psychotherapist and a physician, excuse me. But she gives that as a good resource. Also that website, she gives faith-based healing resources. So what does your healing look like for you, going to therapy and also listening to a podcast? Or does your healing look like reading through workbooks and working through exercises in doing that? Or does your healing look like going to therapy and also getting in a community and around people who empower you and who uplift you and who pour back into you to help you deal with those situations? So just remembering that healing is a journey, and she does remind us of that throughout the book. And then just one last key, I was going to do 3, but I add one more on, is that healing is a revolutionary act. Okay, healing from racial trauma in the workplace is a revolutionary act. And what do I mean by that? It is a right to be whole and healed and be able to go to work and show up as yourself and not have to experience those things, right? Being able to work without the microaggressions, without the lateral violence, without the bullying and other traumatic things that people can do to us in the workplace, right? Without the bullying and sabotage, etc. But being revolutionary and taking control of your healing and also talking about that and sharing those things is revolutionary, because it can also empower somebody else, right? So someone who may be fearful or scared to take that first step, or just unsure about what to do it can empower, it can help other people. So that's just something to keep in mind, that, as a key point and takeaway, that your healing is a revolutionary, and you don't have to let others, bring you down. You don't have to let other people's ignorance and fear impact you, right? You can be healed and whole and have it be for you, and it be centered for you. And you doing the work and going through those steps and those processes and talking about can be very encouraging, and also can be very uplifting to other people. So yeah, that's it. Right within is the book, How to Heal from Racial Trauma in the Workplace. I hope you guys enjoy. If you read the book or you've read excerpts from the book, I would love to hear your thoughts. You can leave a comment below. You can also, message me any positive thoughts or ideas that you have about the book. I always love hearing from you guys. I'm working through messages. I see and hear you guys reaching out to me about technology and nursing and things like that. So I'm trying to get back to everybody. But yeah, so I'd love to hear from you. Please, if you watched this far, subscribe to this channel. It encourages me to continue making content, and share this video. It also helps this reach more people. Thank you. And I'll see you in the next video.